Yeah, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:01. Time. Make that thing harder.
Call meeting order, 7:01.
Oh, public meeting.
Open Public Meeting Act, according to the Open Public Meeting Act, the meeting of October 25th, 2023 was sent to the,
November.
oh,
November 29th.
November 29th,
There you go.
was sent to our town and director, was published on January 9th, 2023, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and the Rochelle Park's website and Facebook, and has remained continuously posted as a required notice under the statute and is being recorded and videotaped. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Let's take a roll call.
Committeewoman Otola? Here. Committeewoman Boniface? Here. Committeeman Mosca?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bassetti?
Here,
You have a forum.
everybody rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. I'd like to start the presentation. I'd like to ask for the Honorable County Executive James Tedesco III to step up for the swearing in of committeeman member Thomas Miller.
Good evening. Welcome. Hey, welcome to Rochelle Park.
How you doing? Nice to meet you. Oh, that's it? Oh, good. Excellent. Already. Oh, the oath of office. Yeah. The Bible.
Here's the Bible. And your
Raise your right hand, put your left hand on the Bible. You can repeat after me.
I, Thomas Miller,
I, Thomas Miller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of the office of Township Committee
perform all the duties of the office of Township Committee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman.
Mayor, there's a certificate presented to the new council member.
On behalf of the people of
Still got a couple.
Where I lived for 7 years.
Yes.
On behalf of the people of Bergen County, it's my honor to be able to present a certificate of commendation to committee member Thomas Miller in honor and recognition of your election to the Township Committee of Rochelle Park. and appreciation of your pledge to the betterment of the township, its residents, and the county of Bergen. The Township of Rochelle Park swearing-in ceremony, November 29th, 2023. Congratulations. I know the chief just gave you a pin, but I'm honored to be able to present the county pin to you, and hopefully you'll wear this on occasions where you're interacting with the folks from Bergen County, and wear it proudly. And last, this is the county executive coin. I get to present this to people that are not only friends of mine, but also that have contributed or will make contributions to the county of Bergen. And it's my honor to present this to you, and thank you for the work that you will do on behalf of the people of Bergen County and Rochelle Park. Congratulations.
Do the honors. You get it. Do the honors. Do we have to retake the Yeah, you want to do another roll call? And we should do another roll call, yes.
I'd like to ask for a new roll call.
Committeewoman Artola,
Here.
Committeewoman Boniface,
Here.
Committeeman Miller,
Here.
and Committeeman Mosca,
Here.
and Deputy Mayor Bassetti.
Here. I'd like to call for a motion to vote on resolution number 023-217, promoting Detective Brian Galena to sergeant.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Got a first, got a second?
Okay. Committeewoman Artola,
Yes.
Committeewoman Boniface,
Of course, yes.
Committeeman Miller,
Yes.
and Committeeman Mosca,
Yes.
and Deputy Mayor Bassetti.
Yes.
I have the floor.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Ryan, members of your family that are part of this. Liaison, any other committee person that would like to join us, that'd be great.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes.
While everybody settles in, let me just give a little brief background.
Solidified
Brian
probably already know.
Brian's a homegrown product of Rochelle Park, grew up on Catherine here in town. He always envisioned himself becoming a police officer. He began his law enforcement career as an alternate route recruit at the Monmouth County Police Academy. He was then hired by the Randolph Township Police Department in 2013. 3 years later, he returned home and became a police officer here in Rochelle Park. Ryan began his career with our Department Assigned to Patrol Division, where he worked on Squad A1 under my direction. Ryan was always one to go the extra step and was not afraid to work. And he was always there to back his squad mates up, even when needed most, expedited. In 2021, in recognition of his high level of dedication to our residents, trustworthiness, and willingness to work hard, he earned an assignment to the Detective Bureau. As a detective, Ryan was able to utilize the investigative skills learned on patrol and grow them through training and experience to conduct criminal investigations, which have led to numerous arrests, subsequent convictions, as well as the of criminal assets that have been converted to police department use when it comes to the savings to the taxpayer. Detective Galena is one of the department's resiliency officers, as well as a CPR instructor, evidence officer, and PBA representative. There is no doubt that his natural leadership abilities combined with the work ethic and knowledge gained over the years spent in the Bureau will certainly help the entire department as he moves up to the rank of sergeant. He's joined today by his wife Melanie, his 2 children Gianna and Anthony, and also in attendance with us is his mom Michelle, his father Anthony, and his grandfather Frank, who by the way was our Memorial Day Grand Marshal this year. So thank you for joining us. I, Brian Galena,
I, Brian Galena,
solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of police officer
solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
perform all duties of police sergeant
for the Township of Rochelle Park according to the laws of our township, state of New Jersey, and Constitution of the United States of America, to the best of my ability, so help me God.
for the Township of Rochelle Park according to the laws of the Township, state of New Jersey, Constitution of the United States of America, to the best of my ability, so help me God. Take a shot.
Do you want the child? Sure. Want to be in the picture? Aw, the kitty lady and the key. He's so happy. Look at you, he's so cool.
You'll get poked behind it. You get poked. Yeah, that's on over there.
Very nice. Oh, there we go.
And Anthony, over here.
Okay, now look at me. Oh, I know.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We're going to swear in two probationary officers, but they're working tonight. And Chief Falco, if you can step up, say a word or two about them. Thank you, Chief.
Deputy Mayor, unfortunately, the two members weren't able to be with us tonight due to work. The first member coming up for probationary member would be Aiden Cannon. He's a lifelong member of the township. His two other brothers are also on the department. One is a probationary member firefighter. The other is still a junior member. Aiden was a junior member with us for 2 years. He just finished firefighter 1 training, and he's going to be moving up as of tonight, probationary firefighter. The other would be Jacob Padva. Jake comes to us from Rivervale. He moved to Rochelle Park on Passaic Street within the past year. A couple of us knew him. He approached us, came down to the firehouse, talked to us. He wanted to join. He comes to us as a trained firefighter from Rivervale. He's excited about joining, so both will be coming on. That makes about 15 new firefighters in the past 5 years, or 15 new members, some being junior members, some being firefighters, some that had to go through the training, but in total 15 over the past 5 years, just about. So, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Also, like to ask up Pete Donatello to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to our newly elected councilperson, to our police sergeant on his promotion, and to 2 new firefighters that are on the fire department as probationary members. What I'm here for is I'd like to welcome 2 new members to the Rochelle Park 13, Leela and Sumat Alos, and recognize them for their accomplishments completing training in the following areas: disaster preparedness and disaster psychology, taught by our own crisis intervention team member, Judy Sanacola;
disaster medical operations, classroom and practical at the EMS Training Center in Paramus, terrorism awareness, disaster fire suppression, classroom and practical at the Police and Fire Academy in Mawa, light search and rescue, which was taught the last class by our own firefighter Charlie Recco, and a final written exam and practical exercise on Saturday morning at the Life Safety Complex in Paramus. Before they could actually take the training, there were some prerequisites to taking the basic SUP class. Besides those that I just mentioned, all members completed FEMA Home Independent Study courses and the Introduction to Incident Command System, ICS 100 and ICS 700, which is the National Incident Management System, or NIMS, and both are used by OEM to reactivate and clear a disaster or a state of emergency in Rochelle Park. I know, Samad, if you would please just be recognized, so thank you for. And as you will see in a minute, the training and dedication of our CERT team goes beyond the basic training that they receive. They're always looking for opportunities to further their education and improve their skills in life-saving techniques. Excuse me. The following members recently completed CPR and AED training taught by our own police department members Brian Molina and Jared Chatkin. Diane, if you're here, just please stand when I call your name. Diane Wiskowski, Gina DeMott, Dawn D'Amico, Patty Donatello, Marcel Allos, Karen Rosario, Bernadette Holtzman, Bob Casimir, Sue Antista, Mark Mayamato, Michelle Genikin, and Yellow Pope. And the following completed Stop the Bleed class at the Bergen County EMS Training Center. And what they were taught was recognizing life-threatening bleeding and how to apply pressure, packing, and apply alternatives. And those members of the CERT team were Mary Minacchio, Melinda Minacchio, Patty Donatello, Gina DeMott, Diane Wiskowski, Sue Antista, Michaela Genikin, Dawn D'Amico, and Bernadette Holtzman. So, thank you very much. And thank you for the continued education and the training and the service you provide to Rochelle Park. Our CERT members, you will see at times of emergency and disaster, they're out there. They're in our emergency operations center providing all of the support, logistical support rather that we need and we ask of them. And they're out there helping the PD, they're out there helping the FD, they're doing fire rehab as we complete the training courses. So you'll be seeing them on large scale fires. And just a great group of folks. And they volunteer their time, they're very well educated, trained, and dedicated. Thank you.
Any correspondence? No. Like to make the motion of approval of the agenda?
1 minute, I have some to pull. First of all, in January, when the calendar was being approved, I talked about these 2 months, November and December, being the 2 last months of the year. A lot gets done, and I question 1 meeting each month. And the reason why I'm showing that is there's about 16 resolutions here, and some of them I don't even know about. They just appeared here. Yes, the administrator called me on some, but other ones aren't here. And that's why I'm talking next year, you need to put 2 meetings in this month, because this shouldn't be like this. And the fact that we didn't talk about some of them. So I would like to pull Resolution 23-207, Resolution 212, Resolution 213, Resolution 215. The rest are fine to go with, to go on consent.
207,
212, that's all right.
212.
13, 15.
12, 13, 15, right?
Yep, not 14.
No 14.
No, 14.
And 15. Thank you.
So that'll be 4.
Yep.
13, 7, 12, and 215.
I'd like to say, since we again don't have a mayor up here on the dais, I believe that we should nominate a mayor for this rest of this year, just to have continuity of government. And so if something happens, we have at least a mayor and a deputy mayor. So I'm gonna make a motion to make Gail Artola the mayor until the end of the year.
Is there a second?
So is this being added to the agenda, or we're doing this now?
Well, it's up, Tony, adding it.
No, I'm just doing it now.
Are you calling for a motion now?
Yeah, I'm calling for a motion now.
He's entitled to call for a motion now. Is there, so Perrin, you made it first, right?
Yep.
Is there a second?
Well, they're on. So, thank you, Perry. I wasn't expecting that. I'll second that.
It's up to this, let me clarify, it is up to the township committee as to whether or not you want to appoint a mayor for the end of the year. If a mayor is not appointed, then obviously the deputy mayor takes the role of the duties of the mayor until the mayor is appointed. So there's a call for a motion. Perrin was the first. Gail seconded the motion, and you could ask for a roll call now.
Committeewoman Artola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Boniface?
No.
Committeeman Miller?
No.
Committeeman Mosca?
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Bassetti?
Not at this time, though.
Okay, so the motion falls.
We only have one more meeting, right?
Just one more after this.
I think that's a mistake, but
For one more meeting?
Kurt,
just to have continuity, that's all.
it's more than just the meeting.
Be a first in Rochelle Park, 3 mayors in 1 year.
Cool. You want to go back to the agenda. So Committeewoman Boniface pulled 207, 212, 213, and 215. Does anybody have any other items to pull from the agenda? Okay, then we need a motion to pass the agenda as amended.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Committeewoman Artola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Boniface?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Committeeman Mosca?
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Bassetti?
Yes.
Okay, correspondence. Did we do correspondence yet?
Yeah, we
We did
did.
that? Okay, approval of the agenda. And then we're on to discussion.
Discussion, Boswell Engineering.
Everybody got the updated?
Good evening. Bruce Rockwell from Boswell Engineering.
Hello, Bruce.
How you doing? I'm here to provide the engineer's status update report. First project I'd like to report out on is Rochelle and Railroad Avenues, the intersection improvement. So within the last reporting period, we received 4 requests for exhibits, updated exhibits from the county, from Gene Murphy, who we've been working with closely, and we responded to the last request on October 31st. On November 14th, the railroad accepted the sidewalk and utility easements, and the county is now awaiting state approval for the paving of the associated project right-of-way. And once that approval is received, and the county has indicated they will execute utility easements, and will schedule a meeting, project coordination meeting with all the utilities in attendance. Also, on November 14th, the railroad affirmed that they will have funding in place for the project as of January 2024. Oldest street improvements. The PMRS is complete as of October 31st, 2023. NJDOT has issued payment of $139,500, and there's a final payment of $46,500 that's pending, unless that's been received. This project is complete and will be removed from future updates. The sanitary sewer pump station replacement project. The basis of design is advancing. There have been periodic meetings with DPW, with Dave Brown, and the extended Boswell Engineering Design Team. All the proposed development projects for the township have been incorporated into the design, and the station capacity has been adjusted to accommodate that proposed development. The location of the generator was finalized within the last 30 days, and FEMA issued an RFI to Boswell Engineering on November 8th, and our responses are being prepared and will be submitted back on or before December 5th, 2023, and that's in furtherance of the BRIC grant application. And I just put down the next steps just to clarify, since this has been a topic of interest, that, we're going to finalize the basis of design, secure sign off from DPW. There's a NJDEP permit, TWA, would be a next step, flood hazard permit, and of course the final approval of the BRIC grant and full funding. MS4 stormwater mapping. This is GIS digital mapping of the stormwater sewage system. Field work has been completed, and we remain on track for now completing the digitizing the maps by the end of the year. Howard Avenue drainage and resurfacing. Inspection services proposal was submitted on October 26th in the amount of $153,000. A pre-construction meeting was conducted on October 25th. The initial payment voucher, the grant, was sent to the township on 10/26/23. The two other grants are handled under the PMRS system. Initial payment vouchers have been signed for 75% initial payments. The initial payment of $150,750 for the 2022 NJDOT grant was issued by New Jersey DOT, and the township has confirmed the receipt. Payments from the other two grants are pending, and the contract with the contractor, La Forza, was executed on November 8th, 2023. El Dorado Court and Crescent Street improvements. Our work tasks have been completed, and therefore this project will not be included in further reports. Digital tax maps. We have been coordinating with Jim Teague, and the township boundary line with Shadowbrook is being finalized. We're on schedule for submission to the state by the end of November, which is tomorrow. Its schedule was, fiscal year 2023 CDBG grant for Dorothy Avenue, Gertrude, and Pleasant Avenue road improvements. A bid schedule was developed, and that was accepted by the township on October 11, 2023. Bid opening was held on November 22nd, 2023. We had 5 of 6 bidders responded. We reviewed the bids, and on November 27th, we sent a recommendation of award to DLS Contracting, who was the low bidder, in the amount of $139,642.50. And this project is well funded, and I believe it was on resolution for tonight. Harvey Avenue, from West Passaic Street to Hahn Avenue. This will also address ponding in the area of Howard Avenue. This is NJDOT 2024 grant funding. This project was awarded a grant of $207,710. On November 8th, our office submitted a proposal for surveying and engineering services in the amounts of $13,350 and $39,950 respectively. Stormwater control ordinance. There's a new requirement from the state for townships to issue a stormwater control ordinance. A sample notice letter was sent to the township on 10/5/2023. We've had some follow-up discussions. And the state's requirement was discussed that this is relating to a private salt shed ordinance that must be adopted by January 1st, 2024. And I believe that resolution is also on for tonight for that ordinance.
First reading of that.
First reading. Lincoln Drive and Chestnut Avenue, it's 2024 to 2025 CDBG grant. The draft application with cost estimate in total amount of $431,000, including $71,000 of soft costs, was sent to the township on October 18th. Preliminary construction cost estimate is $360,000. Design is estimated at $28,000, and construction inspection estimated at $43,000. The application with support information is now complete, and we're waiting the township's directive to submit, unless that's been provided. But I wasn't aware up to this date that that's been provided. And the application submission deadline is December 15th. And that's the end of the report for this evening. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Just related to this, yes.
You want to open it up now, or do you want to, it's up to you.
Will you hang around to the public portion?
You want to open it up?
Whatever you want.
You can open it up, just have a motion.
Just a motion to the public
Yeah,
for
make
this.
a motion to open up to the public for questions.
You have a motion to open it up for
I'll
one
make
question?
that motion.
I'll second.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How's everybody doing? Andrew Matson, 14 Eldorado Court. Where to start? All right. On October 21st of last year, I came down and I sat with Dean as his role as administrator to express how when Eldorado Court and Crescent was redone, the improvements, as I use air quotes, because they certainly were not improvements to my property, I was told those contractors would never be able to drive through town without being weighed. We'll go after them. I was told in email, we'll go after them to the fullest extent. I emailed everybody that was sitting up here at the time. Only Linda responded. It's very upsetting that my family has lived in that house since it was built. And now that it's been repaved, there's like a lake at the bottom of my driveway. And the catch basin is about 200 feet downhill. There's no reason for that. At the October 11th meeting of this year, my property was discussed and it was called a low point, and there's nothing we can do about it. It was never a low point since the 50s. We're talking 70 years, it was fine. And then there was improvements. When I moved into that house, I redid the driveway, some of the sidewalk, the whole curb line, everything, and it was fine. And then a few years later, these improvements came, and now my property is worse off. And the only thing that's happened is the contractor that did the road came back and lowered the road. They heated it and rolled it out, which makes it lower. This is a low point, they're saying, is the problem. The curb is too low. There's correspondence that the clerk is on. Everybody, it's public record. The curb is too low. You can't make the road higher than the curb. It's common sense. The road is right at the curb height. These improvements are not settled. I'm sorry. I will not accept as a taxpayer that this town came through and made my property worse. And I don't think a firm that's down in Florida with their head up their ass knows what they're talking about. And that's all. And I'm very upset that this was discussed at the October meeting, and I was not informed of it. And Dean, I put that on you, because you and I talked about this.
If I may, Deputy Mayor, that actually was brought up by Committeewoman Boniface during a conversation that we had, and
Because I've been talking, because she's the only one that
I know,
reached out to
you're
me.
putting on me, I never claimed.
I am putting it on you.
If I may, can I have order so I can respond?
Yeah.
I don't ever claim to be in construction or an engineer, that's why I rely upon our professionals. Committeewoman Boniface brought what we thought may be some solutions to the issue. We brought it to the engineers, and they told us.
And what a shame that she's never been on a committee in this town that means a damn. You guys put her in the corner to do nothing. Not you, but all the Republicans up here. She's the only one that reached out. I sent everybody an email, nothing. It's a 1 square mile town. You want to sit up there? You want to be elected? Cool. Good for you. Why? To not respond to a taxpayer? Unacceptable. I think if I'm a Democrat, if I was a Republican, that would have been fixed. You, sir, I went to a neighbor that lives behind you because I heard rumors that a driveway was fixed. It looks like you got masons from Italy off the boat to come and do a perfect job on their driveway. Mine got ruined. And I paid for that when I moved in out of my own money. For the town to come and ruin it is unacceptable. And to hear nothing from anybody, beyond unacceptable.
Hi, everyone. Michael Warren, 181 West Older Street. I couldn't hear much of the report from Boswell. Did you mention what the next road project is in Rochelle Park?
We have Dorothy and Gertrude.
So I know that Dorothy and Gertrude
Harvey Ave.
flood a lot. Harvey Ave as well?
Yeah.
When are they scheduled to be done? I'm sorry if this has bothered you. You look very bothered by my question.
I'm not bothered.
Well, you look like you're not interested. So maybe fix your face.
It's really not
Thank
my
you.
opinion at all.
Let him answer the question.
I'm sorry, I'm asking a very easy question.
Give him a chance. He's looking.
So Harvey Avenue, we are waiting on the proposals to be approved by the town. This is a 2024 grant.
You mentioned, thank you. You mentioned Dorothy and Gertrude. When are they up?
It is,
That bid's on for tonight. Do we
yeah,
accept
that's
the
on
rest?
for
Thank
tonight.
you. I'm not trying to be a jerk,
Not a
but you know I have my patience is like this.
Contract was signed on the 8th of November, and that's on for resolution for tonight. We had the pre-construction meeting already out there with the contract.
I know that Dorothy, Gertrude, and Harvey retain a lot of water. I've been there, I've walked those streets myself. I've been doing a lot of reading on a policy that was passed in 2019 called the New Jersey Complete Streets Policy. Have you heard of that policy, or is Boswell involved in any of the municipalities that are passing a resolution for complete streets, which basically means adding green infrastructure to the roads to better contain runoff of water, design the roads differently, meaning that you can shrink the road a bit to add more easement, to add more green space. I see Anne-Marie nodding over there. In order to help better get water off the pavement, essentially. Is Boswell, to the best of your knowledge, and I know that you're not Mr. Boswell, is Boswell involved in any of those types of projects in New Jersey? And I'll bring my binder next meeting. I didn't know this was going to happen this meeting, but I've been doing a lot of reading about it.
So we are involved in projects like that, but specifically for this project, we applied new stormwater regulations.
Like
And
what?
So the new regulations.
I'm just asking. I don't know what they are, so I'm asking you.
Okay. So, and I'll try to do it as simple as
Okay.
possible. So previously, we used to use seepage pits to retain water. But what the state changed in the regulation is they actually want the pipes in the ground to be larger to contain larger volumes of water and handle larger volumes of water. And that's been applied to the design for this project.
So a lot of the stormwater control is going to happen underground and not necessarily above ground, the surface. So the streets will look the same, but you're telling me underneath they'll be able to carry more water.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I wanted to make sure I'm clear on that. Have you been involved in any other projects in any other towns that have radically redesigned the road to include more trees? You guys know I'm going to talk about the trees, but, or any other kind of mechanism, islands, et cetera, that are able to hold water, not necessarily drain them into a pipe, so to speak.
Well, the regulation requires pipe drainage. That's a requirement, and that's a new regulation.
Okay.
And we represent more than 50 towns. So for me to sit here and say, I know everything that's going on in every town.
I agree. I understand.
I couldn't answer that. I mean,
Okay.
could
I just
certainly
know
go
if you
back
had
and-
maybe involved with them yourselves as an engineer with those towns. So I know there's about 160 towns that have moved toward these complete streets to address several issues. I just don't know if maybe you had a personal hand in them. So if you don't, that's okay. I just thought I'd ask.
I have not had a personal hand in a project.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Mayor, can I talk about something? When Madison Ave was redone, so many trees came off that street. We looked at a widening between the sidewalk and curb. The cost was like $600,000 above the estimate to just put the curbs back where they were. And we were looking at also lowering the street because the curb line was so down. The street was higher, but it was like a cost of $600,000. And I understand.
If I can, I'm sorry. Deputy Mayor, may I just respond, please?
Briefly.
Okay. I understand that the cost could be a factor up front, but when we talk about water, how many millions of dollars has Rochelle Park's residents either paid out through insurance or whatever the case is because of the way our streets are designed? So I get what you're saying is the upfront cost is probably going to be more expensive than just redoing the road exactly as it is, right? But I know that these road projects are bonded, right? So there's not an immediate impact to the taxpayer when we bond those things, right? Which is why we do that, right? So I'm trying to think of, and I don't have a total of this, but Gail, you always talk about your experience with the flood, right? I picture a homeowner like you paying a lot of money to get your house raised and fixed and whatever you got to do for the damage, right? Now multiply that by 2/3 of the town, which we know flood. How much is the Rochelle Park resident laying out to try and fix damage from waters that maybe as a township we can try to mitigate better? So that's really the gist of what I'm trying to get at.
I get it. But we'll never,
I know.
unfortunately, stop flooding in this town.
I agree with that, but
We
maybe,
could, I know you could help.
yes, but maybe we can mitigate it better. I don't know. I don't pretend I have all the answers, but I'm just saying it's an idea. But I
Maybe a
appreciate it.
shade tree commission.
I'll bring it up at the public session. Thank you.
Any more comments?
Any more comments before we close? Public motion for this? Motion to close it?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Bonifaz?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Committeeman Maska?
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Fassetti?
Yes. Discussion, municipal court fees and ordinances?
You should have all been given, or it's in the packet, I'm assuming, Emery. So several months ago, our former municipal court judge came to me and said, hey, a lot of our ordinances, our fines are outdated. Is there any way maybe we could take a look at the fee schedule and the fine schedule? I tasked Lieutenant Kukowski with that through the police department. He went through several different municipalities, Paramus, Mawa, ourselves, and one other one. Is that in this packet, Emery?
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
Oh, is it near the back?
It's, yep.
Oh, I can find it.
It's right after Boswell's report.
All right. So you'll see those different municipalities and their fines. I'm sorry this isn't in color, but anything that's highlighted is what my suggestion is at this point. And it was Lodi, Rochelle Park, Lodi, Mawa, and Paramus, which is a pretty good breadth of, look around different parts of the county. There were somewhere Rochelle Park's fines are on par with, the highest and what's more current. There's obviously others that I'd like to see updated. And the reason the judge is like, look, most people are, part of the penalty being a fine, it will, curtail people from taking part in these activities, if they have to pay, a more substantial fine. So I forward this for this committee to take a look at and consider, going forward that we update our code book and our ordinances to reflect these more modern fines and aid our court in holding people responsible through fines.
I'm in agreement with it.
It's in the packet, Emery, or not?
Yep.
Where is it? Where in the packet?
I'm in the middle.
Maybe show.
It's in the middle after Boswell.
Right after Boswell's report.
There you go.
In the right-hand corner, it says questions and votes.
And these were the specific ordinances or code violations that the judge pointed out to us that he would like to see updated. That's why these were studied by Lieutenant Kukowski, reviewed by myself, and now submitted to this committee for review. Sure, I can start with expectoration in public, disturbing the peace, dog licenses, curbing of dog, unattended barking dog. I'll go down maintenance of premises, disorderly conduct, temporary signs, food establishments and restaurants not having proper licensing, prohibited dumping, prohibited parking, clearance over sidewalks, fighting, tobacco sales. I mean, there's a ton. There's a lot, and they haven't been updated in several generations.
For the benefit of the Township Committee, Dean had sent these to me to review because I'm a prosecutor in a couple of towns. I reviewed them. Lieutenant did a very good job. He was thorough in terms of getting a good snapshot of what other towns are doing, and some of the fees, more obviously than some others, and some were okay, but the majority of them were definitely outdated in terms of what other courts are charging. So I was another set of eyes to look at it as well.
I mean, as an example, curbing of a dog, and I know anybody that's been the victim of that, the minimum fine is $5. I don't think anybody's going to, balk at, I'll just pay that ticket, right? Maybe not change their behavior. So we were looking to kind of bring it up a little bit more. That's just one example.
Literally, $25.
Some of them were,
Yeah, literally.
Not even worth it.
And listen, this is a good way to curb your repeat offenders, because unfortunately, with some of the small pettier crimes, you have individuals that are in town that continually are repeat offenders because of the fact that some of your fines and penalties are merely a slap on the wrist. So, this will work towards curbing some of those issues. You see it a lot with loitering, things like that, panhandling and crimes like that.
I'm all for you trying to figure it
I'm
out.
okay with it.
Yeah.
So Mark, maybe for January, we could have this.
Yep.
Right, we can't do anything for the remainder of this year as far as ordinances go, but it wasn't on for tonight.
Yep.
Open up for Rochelle and Rose Railroad Ave.
Sorry, so we heard Mr. Rockwell discuss the Rochelle and Railroad intersection improvements, the ROP 101 in his report. I can tell you yesterday I had a phone conversation as well as a follow-up email from Gene Murphy, who's the principal engineer, civil engineer for the Bergen County Department of Planning and Engineering. He forwarded me, which you should all have a copy of, the resolution from the county back in August 2nd of this year. There were some changes made to it, and the county did that through all of their boilerplate resolutions. Most of these projects now, and the biggest change is that Rochelle Park will be responsible for providing traffic control. I can tell you, I know from my past experiences with past administrators, anytime the town was on the hook, we did not pay overtime. We would try to do it within those who were working and work with just, detour signs, road closures, and maybe, cones, et cetera. So that is normal. That's the norm now. They do need a concurring resolution. So again, I provide their resolution for you. This project has been
lying in wait for the longest amount of time, basically.
2011.
Yeah, for a very long time. I know I first went to a meeting, I think it was before 2020, I was still a lieutenant. I went with then Administrator Bob Davidson. So yeah, it's about time. It's going to widen up that one turn area in front of CVS. It's going to provide a new traffic signal. There'll be a left turn lane added there. And there'll be vast improvements to the curbing as well. I see no reason why this committee wouldn't want to do a concurring resolution, and we should do that in December's meeting. But again, I leave you their resolution to take a look at, and if, I'll have a resolution prepared, and if we're not in agreement, we don't have to pass it next month. But I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. And this has nothing to do with the road and revenue improvements, but while we're on it, I have to say, for this town to leave 10 and probably more $1 million on the table to improve our main road through town, I think would be a mistake. I think we should start our dialogue with the county. I know the county executive was here. He and I have had offline conversations, nothing official, but I have run into him several times, whether it be at the ice skating rink at Van Solon or down at Atlantic City at the League of Municipalities. And I can tell you the county understands where Rochelle Park is coming from, and I really believe they will do what we want done in order to improve Rochelle Avenue the right way at no expense to our taxpayers, but only to a benefit. So again, I throw this out to this committee and ask that we strongly consider that dialogue and get it going again.
I'll make that motion if that needs a motion.
It doesn't need a motion right now. I appreciate it. We can do that in December if we want to get together a concurring resolution. Between now and then is a short amount of time. I would like to sit again with the county executive, or his team, his administrative staff. I know retired Chief Arenberg's now the deputy administrator in Bergen County. He and I have had a long-standing relationship. He and I also had some offline conversations, and I believe there may be even more funding if we push, which I have. Don't let me forget under my report, I want to thank, talk about funding for other things. But anyway, let's get back to Rochelle and Railroad. Again, I think we should have a concurring resolution for next meeting for Rochelle and Railroad project.
Yeah.
I agree with everything said.
All right, Madam Clerk.
And we'll reopen the discussion. Any disagreements?
No.
No.
No? Thumbs up?
All right, to my report then.
Your report.
All right, Deputy Mayor, thank you. And continuing the good news, I know, as we all are aware, the Garden State Plaza is, has made application to the Borough of Paramus to build about 1,600 apartment units on their property. There's only a couple of minor variances, I believe, so chances are it's going to get approved. We sit here south of the brook, so we know what happens when water runoff impacts us from the north. We reached out to their council, the attorney for the Garden State Plaza, as well as the plaza. We've gotten Boswell involved, and they've done everything they could to share all of their plans, all of their designs, their specs, their stormwater, any document they could, they've shared with Boswell. And Mark, I can report on the agreement.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say that, through negotiations, I met with Mr. Sinisi, Mr. DePisa and I, and through several conversations, the Garden State Plaza is going to fund the $10,000 bill that it's going to cost Boswell to continually review plans and provide us, and provide you, the taxpayer, with a report that discusses any impact, if any, from that project on Rochelle Park. So again, at no cost to the taxpayer. So I'm happy to report on that. Not so much, but always great thing. I happened to see in one of my emails an SNY Play Ball grant. I said, sure, let me try for it, and I'm happy to report our recreational basketball program will be getting free 1028.5 T500 Spalding basketballs. That was an easy one. I'm happy.
That's great.
So we'll take it. Whatever, every little bit helps. And I know for years we've been all waiting on the what's been called the Elevation of Home grant. It's actually the New Jersey Hazard Mitigation Grant or Flood Mitigation Grant. We were awarded that. I've had our kickoff meeting. Committeewoman Artola, James DeMaria, the construction official, attended with me. We met with Sylvia Haystreet from the New Jersey State Police Office of Emergency Management. I can tell you this, it's going to be a daunting amount of work, but part of that grant was monies towards the administration of it. I would say this, I cannot do it, and I don't believe there's anybody on this dais or even in this audience that can do it on a part-time basis. So I'm going to seek professional help. Mr. DeMaria has experience
with several firms. One he worked with in Little Falls, other he knows from talking with other construction officials. So we're going to put together an RFQ, and seek that out. So I will get letters out to the 13 homeowners. I will say this, it's going to be work for them. It's going to be difficult. And unfortunately, between the time we applied for this and now, we all know what happened to lending rates. So my heart and my sympathies do go out to those homeowners because it's going to be a little more difficult than it would have been a few years ago, but that's not on us, that's on FEMA. But I'm happy to report that, and I'll continue to give updates as far as that goes. I think that's all I have for now. Oh, so I wanted to talk about the good news. So back in September, Committeewoman Boniface reached out to me, sent me a screenshot from Facebook, and I have to be honest with you, I was offended. It was Senator Sarlo handing out checks to municipalities in South Bergen for flood mitigation. And I'm looking at some of these towns, they're on a cliff. And I won't say what town, but, cliff, near a park, put it together. I immediately sent Rebecca Schwartz, Senator Lagana's assistant, a pretty scathing email, but professional, and that was at the, advice and consent of this committee. I said, I'd like to do this. We've since been provided a $100,000 legislative grant for flood mitigation. I have the paperwork inside. I just got signed tonight, and I will forward that over to our grant writer, and they will submit it. It's due tomorrow. We will have that. So again, $100,000. We're going to look to apply it towards the pump station because that's something we have tangible plans for, and that's pretty much what's needed. And again, it'll offset the cost to the taxpayer at the end of the day. I think there's something else I want to report on.
Patricia.
Nice. Oh, well, yeah. So I know Patricia's here from Heart to Heart, right? So I know we could probably brought that up during the discussion rather than my report. But Patricia, hi. Would you like to remind this committee again what it is? I know we provided them with plans last meeting. We talked a little bit. It's the township's right of way. It's at the dead end of a right of way, and what it is you need and would like to have.
Yeah. So my company.
State your name for the record.
Oh, Patricia Skornavaca. I own Heart to Heart and Associates. I just bought the building 2.5 years ago in Rochelle Park. I'm happy to be here. I have a clinic for developmentally disabled children to adults, and we try to do all kinds of social skills and stuff. And one of the things we came across is teaching our kids how to ride bikes, teaching our adults other means of transportation, and those kind of things. So I wanted to get a bike rack, only it's not appropriate to teach the children indoors to use a bike rack. But my property, I think you're all familiar with, has a very narrow parking lot and not much property, no place. I'm putting trees in pots just to make it look nice. But at the end of our sidewalk, it's a dead end. It just stops. And it can't be used because there's a wire that comes down. So I came up with an idea to put in a very small 3-section bike rack, which I think you've all seen. I sent pictures of it and stuff. It won't interfere. Nobody uses those sidewalks anyway, because I'm the only business on that street. So on that side of the street, there's even the other side of the street are just parking lots. So I reached out to Dean and to see if it was possible to put some potted plants and to put the bike rack. But I was apparently approved or was approved to put in this very small bike rack. So, I hope that this is something that's gone through. I appreciate it immensely. I myself ride my bike to work all the time because I want to teach the children. It's just one of those things. I live very close to the building and trying to save parking spaces. You know what nightmare that was for me. And so I appreciate it. I appreciate the time. I know how busy you are. I know that this is just a minor thing for you guys, but for us, it's a big deal, and we really do appreciate it. I don't know how professional it is, but I wrote a thank you card. So I'd like to give this to Dean.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I know the town attorney has one thing.
So does anybody have any questions for me about it?
So I just wanted to add one thing to Township Committee, because it's a business and because it's on a township property, it'd be prudent for us to have someone execute some sort of indemnification agreement, because it's going to be owned by a business, used by your business invitees. Again, however the township decides is entirely up to you, but if you decide to move forward with it, we just need to do an indemnification agreement. That's all.
Sure, and I've already reached out to my insurance company, and it will be covered under my policy.
Perfect.
So can we make that part of a resolution, Mark? or-
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll do that for
There'd
December.
have to be a signed indemnification agreement as well, which we can attach to the resolution. And then if you contact my office, we'll touch base in the next couple of days.
Okay, and
Make
Marie,
sure we
you'll
put
get me
something
that
together.
information.
Just so we put something together that we're both comfortable with.
Okay?
May I say something? Hi, I'm Tommy.
Hi, Tommy, congratulations.
Thanks so much. I actually volunteered at Heart to Heart over summer, and we did Disney karaoke with the kids, and it was so fun. I'm a special education teacher. I work with students with multiple disabilities, and I really respect and I can relate to your passion to trying to
Thank
teach
you.
them those daily living skills.
So important, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And it's not going to be the first time you see me here, but I love Rochelle Park. I live in Paramus, and so I've served 9/11. Anne-Marie's dad and I served together, and, I'm here for the town as well. If there's anything that you guys need from me, I'm a phone call away.
I'm just happy that tree finally came down the safe
For
way.
God's sakes, the tree. It's,
This committee's not aware of the tree.
Okay, well, you
That
can
was-
fill them in
that-
later,
yes.
but yeah, the nightmare of the tree. Thank you so much, I appreciate it, and I appreciate all your hard work. I know how hard it is to work as a team, even with, different politics and stuff, but we all have to try to work together to make it work. So thank you, I appreciate it.
You're here,
For all the
thank
work
you.
that you do.
And if I, because I see Mr. Mattson standing in the back, and if I may, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I believe there's, some leeway with road projects, right, Roy? If there's like a 15% that if not used on a certain road project, we may be able to move over. And so I'll task Boswell once again, or if that doesn't work out, we will also have Neglia as an alternate, and maybe a new set of eyes can look at that problem again. But just thinking out loud. I've tried, I tried.
Anything else?
That's it.
Committee report, commitment parent?
Construction report for October 2023. Permits issued were 30, UCC inspections were 129. Total value of construction was $371,501. Permit fees collected, $14,655. Zoning permits, 1,840. Zoning inspections were 7. Zoning applications were 18. Zoning violations, 0. Continuous certificate of occupancies, $2,850. Standalone inspections were 10. Property maintenance violations issued were 4. Complaints, 1. CCO inspections were 16. And total fees collected for the month were $19,345. And year-to-date revenue is $494,455. All right. The court report, we didn't have one for last month, so I'm just gonna read. Yeah, I don't think I read it out for last month, but if I did, whatever, I'll do it again. Court report for September of 2023 and October of 2023. So fees collected in September were $9,676. Fees collected in October were $13,915.98. Total of $113,091 for the year. We are currently $16,000 behind from last year.
There was a session today.
But there's
There was a court
two,
today.
November's and December, so we're looking like we're gonna get over that amount, which is good, for this year. And I just want to mention one thing, I know the resolution 2023-210 was canceling the lights at Carlock Field. I'm not gonna be here, but I really think this town needs lights at some field, because I don't know whoever coaches soccer or flag football, when that comes back again in the fall, it gets dark at 5:30 at night. And these kids, they have no place to go. I see cars at Midland School with lights on so they can play soccer. I think as a committee, that should be done. I know the numbers came in high, but I really feel maybe you guys could look at that again for next year. We're canceling 270, I forget what the numbers is. It's over $200,000 that we could be used towards lights. I just think that's something that this committee should do.
We could always reapply too. If this committee decides that's the way they want to go, we could always reapply for those similar grants. But yeah, the lights came in around 700,000.
So for $500,000, I think it's worth it. I really do. But, you know, that's something for the kids in this town that I've been trying to get, and I know it's been a lot of pushback, but I think you guys should really continue to look into that. Maybe we get more money again next year and look into it. But the lights are only going to get more expensive, you know, down the road. But that's it.
Committee-Woman Boniface?
All right. And part of this I wrote before the chief talked about it. Hello, everyone. Thanks for attending. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Boy Scout Troop 114. Special shout out to Eagle Scouts who did community-based projects. Abira, if I screw this name up, I'm sorry to him, but Abira Cadvedu, who added flowers and solar lighting to the garden by the firehouse. Chris Alvarez, who rehabbed the gazebo. Brandon Pomerico, who installed the benches at the Triangle opposite Lexington. The administrator was involved in this. My brother's Vinny's lifelong friends wanted to do something in Rochelle Park to honor him. At the same time, Brandon Pomerico was doing his Eagle Scout project, installing benches. Dean put this together. My brother's friends paid for and dedicated the bench in the triangles, my brother Vinny. I am grateful for all involved. I would also like to thank the winners of the election. I saw a couple things on election flyers and social media, and I'd like to address them. Number one, Rochelle Park will not be able to stop the widening of Route 17. Working for 36 years in road construction, this is the business I know. I've asked around. The answer is this construction project is going through. The funds are earmarked. I'm suggesting that the Township Committee in 2024 work with the county for the Rochelle Ave project. Do not miss the opportunity to get these funds to alleviate traffic and rehabilitation of Rochelle Ave. One thing I am against, and I've let the county know my feelings, and I think the taxpayers of Rochelle Park will agree with me, Rochelle Park is not footing the bill for the purchase of the post office to straighten out Central Ave. I have yet to get a straight answer on why this needs to be done. Yes, the township will lose ratables. We're also getting an unheard of revenue with cannabis sales. Number two, Rochelle Park needs another cannabis business. Number three, the Township Committee in 2024 needs to work bipartisan. We are a 1 square mile town. Party shouldn't matter. I have always wanted what's best for the town. I didn't care if they were Democrat or Republican. I wanted the best person, the best firm for us. Unfortunately, that didn't always happen, and it only hurts the residents of this town. Number four, you could not stop development, but you can control it. You can work with the developer. I know everybody says the traffic, but you know what? That's going to be here. This area is growing. We are 20 minutes outside of New York City with no traffic. Buses run on streets either side of the township. In 2016, the developer across the street asked the Township Committee not to pass a redevelopment plan. Topher had just bought the property from Matt Cowley. The Township Committee denied their request to not vote on the redevelopment plan. They just wanted a chance to look at it. The Township Committee at the time voted to pass the redevelopment plan. Which resulted in a lawsuit by Topher, where they received the pilot in the settlement. In 2016, if I was sitting on the Township Committee, I would have worked with Topher. I would have done my best to talk to Township Committee out of not voting for the redevelopment plan and pulling it off the agenda and sat down and negotiated with Topher. Number 5, one thing I want to point out is that we are in Legislative District 38. The state senator that represents Rochelle Park is Joseph Lagana. The Assembly, we are represented by Assemblywoman Lisa Swain and Assemblyman Christopher Tully. Can you please work with them? A senator not from your district is not going to fight for Rochelle Park. Number 6, Township Committee of 2024. Do your homework. Read what's given to you. If you don't understand, ask someone for help understanding. You will get an answer. If someone is telling you something, look into it. You may find that what you are being told is not the truth, actually far from it. I know I will think of other things, so I have one more meeting to talk about it. I wish everyone well, have a good night, and get home safe.
Committeewoman Gail.
There's lots of congratulations to go around tonight. Congratulations to Mr. Miller and his family for being sworn in this evening. Welcome to the team. There were lots of babies here, so it's so nice to see your little ones. How old are they?
Max is 5 months and Mila is 3.
All right, well, welcome. And also, he already left, but a special welcome to County Executive Tedesco for his visit to Rochelle Park for swearing you in. Congratulations to Jennifer Apici and Teresa Judge Cavallo on their election wins. We look forward to your swearing-ins in January. Congratulations to our new probationary members to the Rochelle Park Volunteer Fire Department. It's so nice to see the fire department growing and to have young members, so we welcome them. Congratulations to my fellow CERT team members who were recognized tonight for their trainings in CPR and Stop the Bleed. Also, congratulations and welcome to our 2 newest members. It's so nice to see families volunteering together. Special thanks to Pete and Patty Donatello for organizing these trainings for our volunteers. And finally, congratulations to Brian Galena for his promotion to sergeant. He has done fantastic work in the police department and in the detective bureau, and we look forward to him excelling in his new role. I attended the Paramus Planning Board meeting at the beginning of the month for the multifamily mixed-use project at the Garden State Plaza to hear more testimonies about the project. The next meeting is tomorrow, and I plan on attending. As Dean already mentioned, I attended the kickoff meeting for the flood mitigation grant for the elevation of the homes with Dean Amory and James DiMaria to obtain information on the requirements, the documentation, and the inspections required. And for the Rochelle Park Library, their continuing programs, the children and their grown-ups can join the library every Thursday at 4 o'clock for a fun story time, followed by a craft at 4:30. Regular programs are Teen Advisory Council, Book Club, Adult Crafts, and Tech Tutor. Slow Stretch Yoga is available on Zoom every Wednesday at 12 noon. And then there will be a recording available on the social media for the week after the program. And as always, please see the Rochelle Park Library website for more information on these and other events.
Short notice, congratulations, Tom Miller. Any few words?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. My report tonight is just me saying thank you. For those who don't know me, my name is Thomas Miller, but please call me Tommy. I want to start by thanking our Bergen County Executive, Mr. James Tedesco, for administering my oath of office tonight. I'm thankful to be joined by my wife, Jessica, our daughter, Mila, and our baby boy, our son, Max. My family is my meaning of life, and we cherish the life we're building right here in Rochelle Park. Additionally, my mom, Molly Miller, who resides in Maywood, is here with us this evening. And let's face it, moms are superheroes, our true anchors, and I'm everything I am because of the compassion, love, and laughter my mom has brought into my life. I'm deeply grateful for the trust this community has placed in me by electing me to serve on this committee. I believe the recent election reflects the vision the residents have for our local government, and I extend my thanks to all who participated by casting their votes and showing up for our community. While I'm deeply thankful for each vote I received, I'm committed to tirelessly working for the betterment of every resident in our township. One of the best parts of this journey was the opportunity to connect with so many amazing residents over the past year. individuals whose lives and stories taught me so much, and now have been granted the privilege to serve and work on behalf of them. I'm grateful and truly understand the responsibilities that lie ahead. I've learned from the residents how important it is that leaders be responsive and well-informed. Throughout this year, I've heard residents repeatedly express gratitude for Committeewoman Linda Boniface for consistently advocating for the Rochelle Park taxpayers, along with her diligent research and prompt responses to the public's questions and concerns. It's clear to me our community values leaders who embody preparedness, understands the issues, and demonstrates unwavering advocacy on their behalf. You know, I was inspired to run because of people in the audience tonight who have come up to the microphone and persistently demanded answers from their elected officials. Rain or shine, freezing temperatures or warm summer nights, you have shown up for Rochelle Park, and I'm excited to work alongside my colleagues to honor the voices of our community and navigate challenges with practical and common sense solutions. This governing body that I'm now a part of, we must work together and collaborate with the residents to gain ideas regarding strategies for change, to move our township forward, and to truly unlock Rochelle Park's full potential. I'm excited, I'm honored, and I look forward to working across party lines to put the residents first, put people over party, and give Rochelle Park a local government they can trust and believe in, and one they rightfully deserve. Lastly, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge my dad. My father was a professor of political science for 30 plus years. He was a staunch Republican, and we had great respect for each other, and that was because my father and I always put the work in to understand each other's points of view. We were extremely close. We were the best of friends, and my father passed away last year, and he would have really loved to have been here tonight next to my mom. One of life's greatest joys is relishing in celebratory moments. However, the reality is that not every celebration will include everyone we hold dear. So my greater message tonight is call your parents, your siblings, your kids, tell them you love them. Tomorrow will always be uncertain, so say what you want them to hear today. And I just want to close with that. Thank you so much.
Last minute, DPW has completed the following. Street sweeper was weekly 45 hours. The DPW installed 9 new LED solar flashing stop signs, 1 flashing pedestrian, in an effort to assist the PD with alerting the public of the stop signs. Metal curbsides on Monday for recycling is called the DPW. They have decorated the gazebo in the town hall for the upcoming tree lighting event. Electronic pickup is every 4th Wednesday of the month. Please call the recycling hotline 201-587-7740, extension 2501. They had 3 calls for reports of sewer backups. Reminder that December 11th, 23 is the last day for grass and leaves pickup until 2024. They also clean and inspected the roof drains on the town hall roof multiple times with all the recent rain. The painting repair project is complete. He's pleased to work with they have done. All the residents should be reminded that Rochelle Park does not allow for the placing of any leaves in the street. All leaves need to be placed in paper bags or garbage can or barrels. No plastic bags will be picked up. Stormwater coordinator report, conducting the outfall inspection, County Road Department notified me that they found a large tree wedged underneath the Passaic Street Bridge and pinned up against a sewer line that runs underneath the bridge. Dave Brown met with the county and deployed a crew with the backhoe to assist the county in removing the trees, and they cut it down into smaller pieces. Recreation, this Friday, December 1st at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building is a tree lighting. There will be food, music, games, singing, and Santa. Please bring any unwrapped toys for the police drive. The holiday trolley ride are Saturday, December 9th from 4 to 7 p.m. and they are filled up at this time. All slots are filled. Holiday house decorating contest, please sign up online by December 8th. And the basketball started tonight. Police report for October 23, motor vehicle crashes were 49. Total police department calls for service, 1,231. Total summons enforcement actions were 306. Motor vehicle stops, 167. Emergency medical calls, 2. Community outreach were 11. Fire department responses were 13, with a total arrest of 25. The At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to open up public portion.
Well, I just have two
Oh,
things.
I'm sorry.
Deputy Mayor. Just two things from my report, if I may. There's two ordinances on for first reading tonight. First ordinance is an ordinance to add a elevator subcode official to our fees. We previously had a catch-all provision, which would include, but it became apparent to the business administrator who pointed out to me that we really needed to be more specific with regard to an elevator subcode official. So we're putting in an entire provision for that along with the fees. Second ordinance that is on that my office worked on tonight is an ordinance regarding privately stored salt storage. And I think that Bruce from Boswell touched on this. The NJDEP, along with our engineers, put together a sample ordinance for municipalities to pass, because what DEP found is that several de-icing materials, including salt, would start to seep into the stormwater and spread all over town, which is a real problem. So there was a model ordinance that was presented. I tweaked it a bit. There was a section in there, one substantive change that I made is there was a section in there that allowed private individuals to store large storage containers on their properties. I found that problematic for a municipality of this size because there are certain zoning requirements. In addition, just the sight and look of storage containers on people's properties, not only I think presents a hazard, but is unsightly for a township of this size. So I did remove that. Everything else in there is intact. I reviewed it. The minor changes I made, again, were more towards wording and how clarity, but the one substantive change I made is the removal of permitting a residence to allow storage containers. If anybody would want me to add that back in, they can raise that tonight when you open up the ordinance on first reading. But my position after reviewing that section is that that would not be prudent for this township to permit. And that's all I have, Deputy Mayor.
Clerk's report. All right, now it's time. Motion to open up public portion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Public portion open. Please come up to the mic. Limited to 3 minutes.
Try your best.
What? Try your best.
Try your best.
All right. Hello, everyone. Mike Warren, 181 West Older Street. Tomorrow in the Hour Town, I have another letter going in there. Not sure if you've been following my weekly letters. But this time I talk about Glen Rock and their Shade Tree Commission. They recently got a $35,000 grant to do a tree inventory in their town from the DEP. And I write extensively about that. And I'll let you read that tomorrow. I'm not going to recite the letter here. But when I was writing the letter, I kept asking myself one question. I've been coming up here for since the summer of 2022, and I noticed the extensive amount of trees coming down. And I know the Heart to Heart woman just said a tree came down by her that wasn't, that wasn't replaced.
It was on private property.
I get it. I get it.
Dead with it.
I know. But I asked myself this question, and maybe the people in the audience and at home might have the same question. Why is there so much red tape to go through to get one tree planted? One. Perrin, leaving office, have you planted any trees? No. Linda, have you planted any trees? No. Madison, where?
People's property.
People's property, thank you. I'm not sure why I have been up here mostly every month to talk about the fact that we are losing trees in town, but yet no one up here wants to take any action on it. So I thought about this question, and I said, Mike, maybe the answer is that you're Mike Warren, the Democrat. So I don't know if you read my last week's Our Town, but I have resigned from the Democratic Club in town, and I haven't been the chair since February. A lot of other reasons, you can read the letter. But I am willing to forego politics, in case that's what you think I'm up here for, because I cannot imagine why there is so much red tape to get one tree planted. One. It's been a year and a half now, I'm sure, but it's winter. We're not planting any trees right now, so let's talk about next spring, 24, summer of 24. I really think this committee needs to consider a shade tree commission. I'll be back here next month and in January again about it. There needs to be a body of volunteers in town who are going to hold the township committee and the administrator accountable for these types of things. The Shade Tree Commission is written into the land use law. In fact, the Shade Tree Commission can assist the planning board when it comes to people coming into town who want to build. We can assist, or we can ask for recommendations when it comes to developers, which has been a topic up here for many months, many years, with TOFRA, et cetera. I am just beginning, so the fact that I was able to resign from my political position in town, I have other plans. I am just beginning those plans. But I asked about the complete streets policy. I hope all of you look it up tonight or tomorrow to see what I mean. There is an opportunity in Rochelle Park, which I hope is bipartisan. You guys do your bipartisan thing, because I like that. I think they like that. Where we can make a real change in the way we design our streets, the way we build them, the way we design the aesthetics of our town, to improve the town, to improve the property values. And if you're worried about people complaining about trees being planted in front of their house, you could always do what Paramus does. Make it illegal to damage a town tree. I was outside talking to Dave Brown. I shared with him the Complete Streets model. We talked about how he did go speak to several towns about it. You can make it illegal for someone to damage a tree. Right. So he said to me on West Oldest, we got the guy. I asked about that. So thank you for that. I don't know what you got him for, but
Couple $1,000.
that's great. I hope that is not going into the general fund.
It has to go to Myrna. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say, it's gotta go somewhere, right? But hopefully, maybe you guys can put any of that money into the beautification that you get from, I know you get $10,000 a year. These things work, so I am willing to do what I have to do. Like, if you guys are considering anything, I'm open to it. We might have had our differences in the past. I can't say, I'm not gonna say that I'm not innocent of it. Absolutely. I know everything I've done politically. So whether you take that at face value or not, I think everyone on this panel knows I am someone with credibility and integrity. And when I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and when I'm right, I'm right. And I will call out bad behavior when it's necessary. I've done it. You've all seen it. Trust me, I've heard it. Yes?
What are you pointing at?
Oh, I'm
me
not pointing at
for?
you, hon, not you. Trust me, no. Lynn, and don't think Lynn and I don't get into our issues as well. But I'll be back next month for you for something special. But I think there needs to be a productive conversation around this. And I'm thinking a Shade Tree Commission is a way to go. So I hope you guys, again, consider it. You can read my letter tomorrow. I even tie Christmas into the tree store. I mean, guys, I'm doing everything I can. So I hope there are others out there. I know there are others out there. I've been contacted by people who've read my letters, who share the same passion. So you guys all know how to contact me. I'm open to help. Finally, Dean, I do have to thank you, and I always forget Sergeant or Lieutenant Bermudez. What is it? Lieutenant Bermudez. I asked about the street lights in town. On my block, they're pretty dim. So I did email Dean, and Lieutenant Bermudez helped me figure out if we can get PSE&G to look at some of the street lights. There's a cost to it, obviously. I said I would do my best to try to research the best I can to try to find a way to pay for it. But I thought PSE&G was going to replace those for nothing, but I guess they're not doing it for nothing, so.
If I may, through the chair, this
This is my last comment, don't worry, I got you. Yes.
So we reached out to our contact, PSNG. He actually told us, I thought we explained this to you. He said within the next couple of years, there's a federal grant coming down that public service is going to change all of their lights anyway.
Okay.
Basically, they can't keep up the demand of their own street lights. So that, we said, well, why spend the money? But if it continues to get worse, for the $30 a year, I think we can, I've done it down on Harvey Avenue. If I may continue, I will say this, and this committee knows that, when it comes to redoing streets, I'm not in agreement with the old way that it was done here. I tell Boswell, we talked about Dorothy Gertrude. I know there's a flooding issue. I had to drive through it in all those years, and ponding issue. I have to deal with the constant resident complaints.
Mm-hmm.
I told them, I don't want that anymore. I want the standing water mitigated, and they have to do it within DEP guidelines. You talk about different streetscapes, street designs. I can tell you with Chestnut Avenue in Lincoln, I've already tasked Boswell. I said, look, speed humps are not desired by my DPW for plowing. I said, however, let's narrow some curbs. Let's
Thank
put
you.
some green islands in the
Thank
middle.
you.
So I could tell you, and that's, again, this committee knows that's how I operate.
It'd
There's
be
going to be a
great,
cost up front, but we're getting grant money.
Maybe
That's
like
the way
a
I look
newsletter,
at it.
Dean, maybe like a, from the
And I
desk of
have,
Dean
listen, I
Pinto.
also, if I may, I also, and I know I sat up here several months saying, I've instructed the DPW, plant the damn trees. I don't care.
Dave took responsibility, don't worry, I had him out in the hall.
So we are pushing, and I was able to get free trees from public service. We will
Great.
get those. We are following up, like you said.
I still think a
The
shade tree
months go
commission
by a little
is,
quicker.
is a way
And
to
I
go
have-
for the
you know,
future,
listen,
but that's not your decision.
Correct.
Yes. Thank you very much, thank you, guys. I
Mr. Warren,
appreciate-
just
Oh,
a
yes.
question. So what did, when you were an elected official, did the Shade Tree Commission exist?
No,
And did you implement it?
no.
And why not?
Well, we weren't removing trees at the speed that is happening now.
Right,
I
the
know,
trees
I
still
was,
had
I was up
to-
there from 2017 to 19, and the trees were not being removed at the rate, at least at the rate that I'm aware of now. I mean, they're coming down by blocks, and you can see Oldest as the prime example.
Okay.
That's all. So, Gail, you're
No, I
right to
just-
ask me and say, Mr. Warren, you were up here for 3 years.
Right.
What about
if
the Shade Tree
You
Commission
could
then?
have some kind of
That's a great-
springboard to go off of if you did what
That
you
is
did
a
while you were
great
here.
question, because, and I'm going to be honest with you, it wasn't something that was in my thoughts at that time, only because I didn't see an issue with trees coming down.
Okay.
Over the past year and a half, I have noticed those trees coming down, some on my block alone. So to me, that's something I'm passionate about. And I think when you find people in the audience, you have people here who are passionate about firefighting, CERT,
Sure.
volunteering. I have something to give, I think, and I think you know that, Gail, even if we disagree a lot. I think that there's a way forward where we can restore the way our town looks as far as the aesthetics of having, shade trees and still work together. I mean, I just think that, and like I said, I was up there for 3 years, not even on my mind. So
Okay.
100% honest with you, until I saw in 2022, a lot of trees coming down, that's when I started to look into it more.
Okay.
And I'm not up there anymore. I'm not up there, so I have to come to you guys, that's all.
Yeah, that's fine. Just
All right.
wondering where we could start off with if you had done any initiatives.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No,
Thank
I
you.
wish I did. I wish I
Okay.
did, but thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
1 minute.
Wait, one quick
Can I say
question for,
something? Yeah.
Mr. Dave Brown. Are there still trees available if people want them? I forgot to mention, they're filled.
We only have 16 people that want trees.
So
It's a great start.
16. We said we wanted to put out 40, and there's only 16 people who applied to it.
Will they still be available if people want them?
You'll have an opportunity. Come on.
The order, I was talking with the company, I go to each location to get trees. The one company that I was dealing with, I had some, I talked to also Maywood. Maywood was using, this new guy that I started dealing with. And I opened up, the terminology, but I set up a new account with this guy. His prices are pretty good. The good thing is with him, he came out already, he met with me, he took me over to Paramus's shade tree yard. He gave me like a whole tour of trees that he had staged there, waiting to be planted. It was an education that I've never kind of been through before. Walked me through everything with the trees that he could get. His recommendations of what we can use, what we should do, what we shouldn't do in the limited space locations that are in place that we have in town between the curb and the sidewalk. So it was a real big education, eye opener that we had. We then came back to the office. We looked at the recommendations from the arborist that she gave me, his recommendations off of those. So there was a lot that came on my plate real fast between his recommendation of what we should purchase, to her recommendations. So I had to decide at that point, I kind of pulled back because I don't want to buy just anything and not be able to get the stuff in the ground fast enough, and then have stuff die on us. That's just a waste of money. I wasn't willing to do that. So going forward, I have the winter to look at, the locations. I noticed 16 locations that we're gonna plant the trees. There's a lot that's going into it. I can't just say, I'm gonna plant the tree right here and it's right on top of some sewer line. I'm not willing to do what's been done in the past. And that's a lot of what I'm dealing with. I've had, there was a resident over on East Park Place, the sewer line was being crushed by the tree. A Harvey Ave, a similar situation, the trees gotta come down. So I'm dealing with still trees that have to come down because of the damages that are being caused by improper placement and not knowing where you put the tree. I countless locations that they put a tree right on top of the water tap. We're grinding the root and we're getting, water caps getting washed at the guys. You don't know what's in there, even when they do the markouts, you're not sure. So it's poor placement of years past that we're dealing with. So I'm not willing to put a tree on top of water lines, gas lines, sewer lines. That's the homeowners, stuff that they need. They need that. I'm not willing to put it on top of their utilities. So there's limited space. I got homeowners that want 2 trees on their property. I can't justify in some of those locations to be able to do that. I need to give that space. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like on a 50-foot property. So, there's a lot that's going into it. It's not just, here you go, let's do 3 down, or put 1 tree down. And the time went fast. So, I'm looking for people to tell me, yes, they want it. We're working through getting the trees, to the right locations. And as soon as I can do that, I'm working with this new, vendor, and he's willing to work with me coming out even to spot the locations.
Well, I just want to thank you, as you see.
Again.
President really cares, there are people.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, I just want to state that I want to thank Dave Brown because he has been in constant communication with me about these things. So I just want to leave 2 things. One is maybe contact Glen Rock because that's really the reason why, what Dave explained is the reason why they're doing their inventory. Where are they? Where are they placed, et cetera. And then finally, I don't know what the last part was, but I think we have to escape the mentality of, like when something breaks in the police department, you replace it, we should be replacing the trees that are broken, which a lot of them are. So that's all, but thank you for my time. Oh, Ms. Boniface?
Yeah,
Yes.
I just want to talk about why the trees started to come down.
Yes.
Because we realized that we could apply in the roadway grants, the DOT grants, we were allowed to include the curbs and aprons. That's why the trees started to come down, because they were hanging over the curb, they were too big.
Right.
And so that's why all of a sudden they started coming down.
And I understand, and thank you for that. And
Yeah.
Ms. Artola, I guess that's, again, outside
I've
of my,
explained that in
outside
the
of my
past.
jurisdiction of being on the township committee, but they should be replaced even though they're being taken down, and for good reason. They're broken. So thank you very much, guys.
On the topic of the trees, I know like the town, the
State your name again, I'm
easement,
sorry, sir.
Andrew Matson, El Dorado Court. The town has 10 feet from the curb, and I know that kind of creates a problem with the sidewalk. Maybe we could increase that footage, and maybe we could put a tree on somebody's front lawn where they actually want it. And I don't think anybody really wants the tree in that little small patch of grass next to the sidewalk. I mean, maybe some people do, but I think that inevitably you're going to have damage to the sidewalk. I think not having a shade tree commission, you notice we don't have many shade trees in town. So maybe it just kind of goes hand in hand. And I do think it's important that somebody from the public gets up, and I agree with Dean, that $10 million from the county, we should go after that. I know at one meeting, people were making comments that, oh, we can do better. Maybe we can, maybe we can't, but we should take that 10 million and see what we can do. And then if we need more, the county knows that they have to help us get more. And also, as Dean said, it's great to reach out to the county, you get a response. You reach out to LD 38, you get a response. Think about it as a taxpayer's point of view, if you reached out to your county committee and you didn't get a response, so
I think we're all in agreement with that.
that's all.
Sounds like Miller is too.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Patty Skornavaca. I have a question. I'm new to Rochelle Park. What about businesses? So I asked if I could remove the sidewalks and plant the trees myself. I asked if I could put them in pots. And so I have come up with solutions and asked. And although now, I was grateful to just get the bike rack and I shut my mouth, but now that everybody's talking about the trees, there's not one tree on my block. There's a bush. I put 2 pine trees in pots in front of my doors, but I contacted and I said, I would like to get those industrial pots. Nobody's on my sidewalk, and I know that doesn't matter legally, whatever, but I said I will buy the pots myself, I'll pay for the trees myself. I would do anything. It's the ugliest street you've ever been on in Rochelle Park. Am I lying? So although there are no trees, I'm a business owner. Am I allowed to, what's my right for shade tree?
If I may.
You're a taxpayer.
Yeah.
I pay more taxes than everybody in here for my building, so yeah.
So when Patty reached out, I immediately forwarded it to our zoning and code enforcement and construction official, as well as our fire official, right? Because at the end of the
Yes.
day, Darrell Demott has an obligation to make sure, God forbid, something dangerous happens in your building, that our fire personnel can get there.
Exactly.
James DeMarie said same thing, would be a zoning issue. So if we run into those types of issues, maybe that's something a Shade Tree Commission working on, on the
Because
behalf of
I'm
this town
trying to
committee
beautify
can
that
play mediator
street,
too.
but I'm doing it by myself,
No.
because everything else
Just
there's.
for clarity, we're not potted trees, we're talking about something.
It was to be blocking the driveway, and the fire official was
Not the driveway, the sidewalk.
the sidewalk, which leads
Ingress and
through the,
egress.
yes,
That's where the
correct.
issue comes.
But again, I agree that
That's the only
the
issue.
sidewalk is this big. Nobody needs that big of a sidewalk to walk by, but I get it. I just want to come up with some kind of compromise. What can I do to get some greenery
How
on
about
Legion
ivy on the
Place?
side of the building, like Wrigley's?
No bamboo, do we have no bamboo?
I promised not to do bamboo, but I have one bush,
All over the place.
and that's the only green on the whole block. It's sad. And it's ugly. Guys, drive down Legion Place. Mine's the prettiest building.
Yes,
Not gonna lie. And everything else is a mess. No, I'm the only one covering my garbage dumpster. Everyone else is out on the street. That shouldn't be allowed. It's so filthy and dirty. Just put a fence around the damn thing, Why does it have to be such a mess all the time? So, yeah, I think there are things that we could do. Just take a ride down the streets, you know what I mean? I pay a lot of taxes. I don't have a damn tree. Somebody give me a tree. A bush. But drive down the street. You guys just drive down any of the streets that we're talking about and just make note of it,
Yeah, I think Overlook was once, had several trees. I think that may be void of any trees, so.
It's the void.
Yeah,
And I'm the last, I guess I'm the last drain on the block too. And since some of my curbs are also this big, and my business flooded twice already, and I've only been there for 2 years. And it never flooded for 40 years until you guys took out, in order for me to buy the building, what looked like a speed bump, but it wasn't. It was actually to prevent the water from going behind, so. I think we just need to be listened to, and Boswell doesn't always have all the answers because somebody needs to ask more questions. So he said, take it out, and it cost me $20,000 that my insurance didn't cover. So, a tree, anything. So whatever I can do as a business owner, you're telling me I still pay taxes here and I have rights too. Okay, that's great. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I was just going to say, it sounds
Okay.
like your story really does support the need for a shade tree commission
Yes.
within our community.
Yes.
Because not only can they support residents, but also businesses as well.
businesses,
To
that's
help
right.
plant and maintain, and I
Yeah. If
also,
you drive down Legion Place, you'll be ashamed
yeah.
that it looks like that. There's red, orange, right? There's not supposed to be parking on the street. Nobody gives a crap. I can't get little tiny school buses in and out because they're parking on both sides of the street. It's dumpsters at the curb when snow removal. I mean, it's a nightmare on those streets. And that there are about 6 little streets that are all businesses, and you'd be hard pressed to find a tree on any of them.
Yeah, and maybe if the Shade Tree Commission could reach out to them and ask them if they would like a tree.
Yeah,
And then
Patty,
they
would
could
you like
support
a
them in
tree?
planting and maintaining.
Yeah.
Beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, thank you. And the dumpsters are a problem.
Yeah, I'll kick it over to zoning.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah,
feeling the
problem.
answer is going to be that it's a pre-existing non-conforming use that use.
Yeah.
Our zoning board chairman is sitting in the audience too.
Yeah, the dumpsters are disgusting, and mine is neatly packed away, because I care about Rochelle Park, and I care about what it looks like.
I said, I
Thank
will
you.
forward it over to James.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Diane Mahassel, Forest Place. First, I just wanted to let everybody know the Boy Scouts decorated the tree over at the Winter Wonderland at the Bergen County
great.
Park. So I have a picture, but it's very well decorated, and I'd like to ask, people go look at it. It looks really nice.
I was there the day before you then.
You could have come yesterday and helped us put ornaments. Unless I missed it, when you guys talked about the tree lighting, is there a rain date just because they're predicting rain?
So there is, it's the following evening.
Saturday?
Yes, same
Okay.
time.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something, Dean, if you brought it up, I apologize if I missed it. We've talked about the smoking, not a municipal property.
I have not brought it up, but that, yeah, so, I don't want to take away from your time.
Okay, well, you know what I'm going with that. Okay. Then another question I had, when we were talking about the Garden State Plaza before, how much money did we get this year from the Garden State Plaza as part of our negotiated security agreement?
We have that, I don't ask me off the top of my head, but.
It would show up in revenue.
Yeah, but I have a letter, and then the letter, the follow-up and the check that was received, we can get that, or reach out to Kathy tomorrow. We have no problem sharing that, right, Wood? Yes, the agreement. Yeah, I have the actual
Okay.
letter, so it's more, yeah.
This is, we get money from the Garden State
Yeah,
Plaza.
the memorandum
as
of
part security.
understanding, sitting on my desk, actually, the actual memorandum.
Okay, and the other thing, I appreciate, Dean, when you were talking about the raising of fines for certain things, I think that's a great idea. I would like to ask if you could, or the committee could spread it out to other things, that's why I asked what
It was
things
an
to cover.
extensive list, and you're more than
Oh,
happy
no,
to
and
share it with
these things may be on it, but I mean, this is something, I've brought it up before. Planning and zoning gets very frustrated. They approve something with very specific restrictions, and then nothing happens. And there's 1 or 2 things where Mr. Di Maria has even gone to the property and told people they have to get a permit, or they should have gotten a permit. Oh, well, they don't.
And again, not to take away Ms. Verhassel's time, but we literally had a resident who's been cited by James Di Maria for about 3 years now, failed to show up for court today. It's in the court's hands at this point, so even with enhanced fines, if people just could choose not to show up, unfortunately, the legal system in New Jersey's changed over the past several years under this, the current leadership in Trenton, to where we can't even issue warrants for people anymore. So unfortunately, I'm hoping we're going back, because that was kind of an excuse due to COVID, but you're right, it's frustrating.
And the frustrating thing is that a lot of the people, eventually, they get away with whatever, even if they're told they can't. We have fences that, there's one right near my house, and I brought it up, 6 foot, right on the driveway. It is on the way that kids walk to school, or if they're going down to the sand pit. Those people cannot see when they back up. They will not until, God forbid, a kid is standing there. I know Jimmy has gone there, Mr. Di Maria has gone there, and the people first lied, said the height of their fence, now it's 6 foot. Eventually, what I see happening is that it's gonna just go away, and they're still gonna have that fence until something horrible happens. There's another place that put a pool in the backyard, way over the allotted amount of property coverage. No one's gonna tell them to take the pool down. We have properties in town that are breaking rules. The place across the street's not supposed to have tires, they have the big high thing of tires.
He was addressed yesterday, and literally received
Okay.
an email today. Matter of fact, Don Warnett, code enforcement, went there yesterday, advised the owner you cannot have
The tires?
unregistered vehicles on the property. Today, those unregistered vehicles are gone. The mistake of the person working there says, well, I don't even own it, I'm renting it, and he cited them for not having the proper, for not coming before the board.
the
So, I
other
mean,
one-
again, the work is being done. It's, and
And-
unfortunately, enforcement is one aspect of it,
Well,
and then
the other
hoping
one
people
is, we all know the gas, well, not gas station, garage, that he's maximum 7 cars. If he has ever had that little on his property, it's not. Same thing, it just looks horrible. People drive through town, it looks like a used car lot. He was told by planning and zoning, 7 vehicles. It's a full parking lot constantly. I mean, those are just examples that you see on the main streets in town, whether it's Passaic or Rochelle Ave, it's all over town. We had a thing, how many months ago, where there was a thing, you put up the basketballs with the basketball hoops. People were told they had to remove them. 2 months later, they were all back out. And I'm not trying to give Mr. DiMaria or the other guys work, but on the other hand, the only time they seem to go out is when somebody contacts them and says, hey, did you see X, Y, Z?
That I can tell you is not true.
Well, that's what he told us. That came from
James
him.
maybe, but that Don's out there.
No, I'm not questioning Don,
Yeah.
Mr. DiMaria, and I'm not blaming him. I brought this up before. We need to get a full-time guy in that job, whether it's Mr. DiMaria, whether it's somebody else, because he has so few hours that he can't cover all the things he needs to do. So as a committee, I'd like you to think about that, extend his hours, give him the time to do the job he's hired to do. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. If I may, and Mr. Hassel touched upon, Deputy Mayor, the no smoking ordinance. I believe when I first made chief, in anticipation of the cannabis laws changing, I actually came to the township committee and said, hey, I would consider making no smoking of anything on public property. We still haven't done that, and with this gazebo looking the way it does now, and it kind of seems to attract those who like to smoke, and I don't think that's a proper place, especially with the amount of effort and work and the woodworking that went into it, that we allow smoking. Unfortunately, our current ordinance doesn't prohibit smoking outdoors on township property. So I do suggest, and it's something this committee consider, again, we can push it forward to next year, is updating our no smoking ordinance and making where it's no smoking of any type of substances in any township-owned property or on township-owned property. Because again, I don't think it's right to have people smoking in the middle of Carlock Field, whether you smoke or not, and I love my cigars. I don't think smoking around children playing on swing sets is proper, but I leave that to this body to consider.
And that's something, anybody that knows school property, you're not allowed to smoke on school property. The people, teachers, staff, have no problem going to the sidewalk. And I will tell you, and Dean knows, we talked about it, and I know Dave has mentioned it. The bottom of the gazebo, there's a space underneath, which I'm sure was put there for, reasons of the wood airs. If a spark, and people are smoking all the time, goes there, by the time you realize, the gazebo's gone. Because of leaves and whatever underneath. So it's something we'd like you to really consider. Thank you.
Got it. Can I make a motion to close?
I'll make the motion. Oh,
Second?
I already motioned that, yeah, that's fine. I'll second.
Committeewoman Otola?
yes.
Committeewoman Bonifaz?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Committeeman Master?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vassetti?
Yes. 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to.
Approval of minutes. Ask for a motion to approve the minutes listed below, work session and closed session minutes dated 10/25/23. Make the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Bonifaz?
Yes.
Committeeman Master?
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Vassetti?
Yes. Ordinance introduction ordinance number
I
2023.
think just, I think that Committeeman Miller should just put his abstention on the
Oh, I'm
record
so
since he's in the
sorry.
roll call now. So just call Committeeman Miller for his position, and again, you should abstain,
Yeah,
Committeeman Miller?
abstain.
just because he's part of the new roll call.
Got it? Yep. And introduction of the ordinance, and introduce ordinance number 2023-017. An ordinance to amend chapter 80 of the code of the Township of Rochelle Park entitled Construction Codes, Code Enforcement Department. I ask for a motion to introduce by the title of the first reading ordinance 2023-017, an ordinance to amend chapter 80 of the code of the Township of Rochelle Park entitled Construction Code, Code Enforcement Department by way of number 023224, and it's to be published in full in the Bergen County Record with notice of public hearing to be held on December 13th, 2023. Make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Boniface?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Committeeman Maska?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Pacetta?
Yes. Ask for a motion to introduce by title of the first reading ordinance 2023-018, an ordinance to amend chapter 185 of the code of the Township of Rochelle Park entitled Land Use and Development Regulations to add a new section entitled Privately Owned Salt Storage by way of resolution number 023-225, and it to be published in the full in the Bergen County Record with notice of public hearing to be held on December 13th, 2023. Ask for a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Boniface?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Committeeman Maska?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Pacetta?
Yes.
Take those three first.
You actually gotta take 5 off too. You gotta take off 207, 212, 213.
But why don't we, can I ask a couple questions? Okay. The grants receivable, and I may have forgotten, but when did we talk about canceling that?
So if you recall, when we brought up Carlock Field and doing the lights, it was,
Right.
it never passed this body. So,
Okay.
we're looking at those funds sitting there, we have to, it's,
We have to, because it's
Act.
probably, they were 2021, so
so
they're.
again, we could always reapply for these grants, but to sit and hold,
Right.
and the CFO's here to explain it.
No, that's fine, you got it. I'm good, but I just had to bring it back. The other thing, the road surfacing program, what,
Which number, I'm sorry, no.
215?
yeah.
That was the bid.
That was the bid that,
For what? The end of
Dorothy,
Howard?
Gertrude, and.
Pleasant.
Oh, that's that project.
and again, it came, we're very fortunate the time of year that we're doing it, and again, Boswell worked with us on this, to get winter work and get it out ahead. We're gonna
Yeah,
have plenty
because
of
they have
funding
to
there.
do pipe work on that.
Yeah, we're gonna have plenty of funding there.
Okay, you can put that back on, Anne Marie.
Okay.
So 212 and 215, Committeewoman.
Yeah, put them all back on.
Okay, so that would be, so we're gonna put back on 023-207, 023-212.
Oh, one question, payroll services. Are we renewing a contract?
Yeah, so it hadn't been renewed since
Yes.
2019. The CFO brought it to my attention that we were due for renewal. It's actually
That's
the same
okay.
company we've been using.
Yeah, I read that about them. They have like, how many towns? Yeah. You could put everything back on.
Okay, so we need a motion made to put back on 212, 215, 213, and 207.
Yep.
I'll
I'll make
second.
that motion.
Second?
I'll second, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, those resolutions have now been added again to the consent agenda, and now you can take a vote on the consent agenda.
I need a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion for consent.
I'll second it.
Okay, Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Boniface?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Committeeman Maska?
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Pacetta?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now, we're going to motion to go into closed session. For the public's benefit, in closed session, there'll be discussions, matters relating to litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege. There will be no formal action taken after closed session. I need a motion to go into closed.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nice to meet you officially. Really appreciate it.
Okay.
You got those reports, right? You don't need mine?